I went into shock. I wasn't able to cope, and I came to the Grant Mental Health Care, and they told me they thought I had post-traumatic stress disorder. I couldn't handle everything, and they helped me through all of that. They helped me learn how to handle the flashbacks and the nightmares.
There's a variety of roles that Jamie plays in Jaquita's life, and to see those diminish or go away, like I say, Jaquita would be severely impacted, and I'm sure Jamie has people that come to see her every day. Those people would suffer as well. You can absorb certain losses in a large population. In a small population, especially one that's as large geographically as we are, you have to maintain a certain staff level for small services, or you just can't do them at all.
North Central Washington Regional Support Network has attempted over the last 2 years, as reductions in funding happened, to continue as many dollars to the treatment level so that people got services, accessed services. The concern that we have right now is that we've had to reduce outpatient services, and that's increased the crisis need.
We are told that we're supposed to try and avoid hospitalizations, and then all the funds are taken away that allow us to avoid hospitalizations. There's no support for anything less than hospitalizations.
The region has suffered a 17% reduction in Medicaid funding for general treatment dollars, treatment of Medicaid persons. We've also had some minor cuts in non-Medicaid funding directly from the state. We now have facing us, December 1st, 2010, a 6.3% across the board cut. What that 6.3 equates to is 26.4% reduction in treatment dollars for our RSN, our region, our 27% of Washington state. The offset to that, the result of that, is more hospitalizations, more crisis, more diversion, more stabilization needs within our region.
Okay, the problem with losing your services is you relapse. You go back to where you were. It's like stopping the bus on the highway and say you can't go on this journey any farther, you have to return back to home base. You need your care providers, because if you don't have that, you relapse, and then a lot of times folks wind up back in a hospital, which will cost more to the taxpayer than having individual care providers.
As a result of the declining state-only dollars, on January 1st of 2010, New Alliance Counseling Services was forced to make the decision that we could no longer provide outpatient mental health services to the low-income, non-Medicaid population because we simply no longer had the dollars to do that.
And what we've seen is a huge increase in people seeking crisis services because they can't get the maintenance services that we need. So this funding crisis is putting people in crisis.
In 2007, Stevens County was responsible for mental health services in Stevens County and Lincoln County only. And at that time, we received about $89,000 a month in state-only services. Those dollars had to be prioritized for crisis services, and any leftover funds could be used to provide outpatient mental health care to the low-income, non-Medicaid population. Starting in 2007, our state dollars were getting cut by the state. In 2008, we received about $77,000 a month. By 2009, when we merged with Ferry County, we received $61,000 a month, so a $28,000 cut to provide the same services over 3 counties that used to be provided in 2 counties. Currently, in 2010, our average monthly state-only payment is $43,000. We've received a 50% cut in our state-only funds, again, to provide the same crisis services in 3 counties that used to be provided in 2 counties.
The reality is the provision of service is a totally, completely different system in our RSN than it is in an urban RSN, for instance. We have 3 tribal nations We have a huge Hispanic population.
Our staff has a 2-hour response time. It can take 2 hours to get from here to Grand Coulee, driving full speed to meet a mental health crisis. And when we don't have the staffing available, we can't provide the response time that our partners in our community need us to provide for adequate response to mental health crises.
We are dealing with the most disenfranchised population there is in our state.
At this point, a 26% reduction in funding for these services is going to put the RSN, this region, these 7 counties, out of the crisis system by next year.
Well, I believe the bottom line question is what do we need? What do we want? And I believe the hard business of governing requires hard decisions. At the moment, decisions have been made which further marginalize people who are already without voice and face. I'm expecting our legislators, the governor, to reprioritize on behalf of the voices and faces we live with. My concern is that if that doesn't happen, then I'm left with an obligation to provide services I cannot provide. I cannot violate employment law. I cannot put at risk our public, our community. And inadvertently, the decisions that are being made are asking me to do that. I cannot do that. Nor do I think they're really asking me to do it. Nor do I believe they really are saying that the hearts and minds and souls of lives of people in King County are worth 40% more than the hearts and minds and lives of people here. I don't believe they're really saying that, but I don't believe they're hearing the impact of their behavior. And I'm hoping they hear it and go back and shuffle the deck, because this will not work. I understand they're doing the best they know how to do, but this will not work. I want them to reprioritize.